What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of On Everything. I am your host, Jay Floyd, and I am the curator of what I call open book media. Why open book? Because I think the world needs more transparency. Transparency. And let's think about that really quick. A lot of people talk about honesty, but I'm a firm believer that transparency is even more important and even more powerful. All right? So what's the difference? Honesty is whenever I say something, it's going to be true, right? If you ask me a question, where were you last night? I'm going to tell you exactly where I was last night. I'm not going to lie about it. That's transparency. That's honesty. I don't like this. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of On Everything. I am your host, Jay Floyd, podcaster, rapper, actor, author, and the curator of what I call open book media. Now, why do I call it open book media? Man, I'm a firm believer that the world needs more transparency. Yeah, needs more of that. I think too many of us stop and start celebrating and doing a dance once we learn how to be honest, right? That's like step one, learning how to be honest. What's the difference between honesty and transparency? Well, let's talk about it. Honesty is like, let's say I'm out and I come home and my wife's like, where were you? And I tell her exactly where I was at. Boom. I was honest. She asked, I told her, hey, I should get credit for that, right? No, because there's another level of living life, and that's transparency. Transparency is a little different, and I won't even say it's nuanced because there's a decent size of real estate in between transparency and honesty. Transparency is I'm going to share and be open even if I don't get asked. So let's say I go to work and I'll take it back to the last analogy because I know a lot of people want the same analogy to be used so that they can view the difference. So if I'm being honest, my wife asked me where was I tell her. But if I come home and I'm being transparent, I probably have already told her where I was going. I probably have already built a connection and a conversation where she probably knows what I'm going through, and she may even know why I'm going where I'm going. Maybe I just need to get some fresh air. Maybe I'm going through something. I need to talk to somebody. Maybe I miss my best friend. Maybe all of those things. These are things, if I'm being transparent, people are understanding of those things because I'm already forthcoming with it. I'm already coming out with it. Let's go a little bit deeper. Transparency is the practice of being open, honest, and straightforward in communication, actions, and intentions. It means that you're going to provide clear and truthful information, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. And it means that you avoid hidden motives or agendas. I can be honest all day and still have a hidden motive or agenda. In fact, that's where a lot of relational conflict comes from. Because I know for a fact I have certain intentions or thoughts, but because you asked me X and I told you the truth about X, I'm standing on that moral high ground. Instead of digging deeper and digging into something that we all know is true, and I know is true, but because that's not what you asked me, I'm going to have the conversation on incongruent ground. That's not right. And that's where a lot of our conflict comes from. Look, this is not only in personal life. This is not only in marriages. This is in business. This is in professional life. It's in organizational contexts. If you're trying to run a business, if you're trying to lead your career, if you're trying to be a part or a leader of an organization, transparency builds trust. It fosters accountability and it strengthens relationships because it creates an environment where people feel like they are informed. And then when people feel informed, they feel valued. So what does that look like? That means if I'm part of an organization, I don't just come in and say, here's what we're going to do. No, that means I might issue something beforehand and say, here's what I'm thinking about. Here's a problem that we're running through. And I will have an answer or a solution for this by the end of the quarter. And not waiting till the quarter ends to say, here's what we're going to do. Or reaching out and having a listening tour to see where everybody's pain points are. What is everybody thinking? And then taking those thoughts, synthesizing them into action points, and then making that part of my action plan. Now people know why. Look, in leadership, transparency might involve sharing the why behind your decisions, being upfront about your challenges, and this is the one that's probably the most unpopular, you gotta admit when you make a mistake. That's part of transparency. That's why I said there's a lot of real estate between transparency and honesty. I gotta be upfront about making a mistake. I gotta be forthcoming. I might even share a mistake that I made in private. Nobody saw it. I don't have to share it, but I do. And look, in relationships, it means you have to openly communicate your feelings, your expectations. Bruhs, come on. I know for men, man, this is so hard. I know for me as a leader, this is something that took me into my 30s to learn in marriage. It took me into my 40s to learn in my career. And it took me still later into my 40s to take it as a leader and as a leader of men and a leader of people, that expectations are huge. You have to set expectations, be clear about your own expectations, because everybody has them. You can duck and dodge all you want and not want to talk about them. I know when I was younger, I didn't want to talk about them because I was uncomfortable with having to meet them. I was uncomfortable with learning how to set my own expectations. I was real bad at that. I would just go into things and not expect anything for myself. I sucked at it, right? So because I was bad at it, I avoided it. But that causes a situation where trust cannot be built. Trust is not just about, oh, you don't trust me, you think I would do something bad to you. It's not just about somebody thinking you would do something bad to them. It's about somebody thinking you don't value me enough as a wife, as a husband, as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as an employee, as a member of your organization. You don't value me enough to keep me informed. You don't value me enough to tell me the why behind decisions. There has to be that. Expectations have to be put out. And lastly, transparency is really about creating clarity, fostering mutual understanding by being authentic and forthright. I want to dig into that sentence a little bit more because these are the kind of words that bounce around, and I really don't think culture and society builds these words, builds an environment that helps us fully understand what these words mean. Creating clarity. To create clarity, the first thing I got to do is learn how to talk, learn how to speak, learn how to communicate effectively and powerfully. Yes, that's all of us. That's learning, like taking a class, taking a course, being mentored, learning how to communicate with clarity is important. Creating clarity means I got to learn how to speak. It means I got to learn how to listen. That's how you create clarity. I'm listening well. I'm also speaking back to you well. And here's the third part, and this is the part where I think everything falls apart for so many of us. When we feel like there may be confusion or lack of clarity, or maybe we even have any kind of inkling that there might not be alignment, you gotta do something about it. If I say blah, 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 and somebody else says blah, 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 and I can tell in that interaction that they may not have properly understood me, I need to go back to it and maybe even ask them, are we clear? Is this what you got out of it? That is creating clarity. Too many times in society, we just say what we want to say. Somebody else doesn't get it, and we feel like that's on them. It's not on them. It's mutual understanding. Mutual. We have to foster mutual understanding. We should always want every conversation, interaction, and relationship to have alignment and clarity. You should always want that. You shouldn't think, oh, well, I'm talking to my boss and we don't get along, so it always goes this way. No, it doesn't have to go this way. It doesn't have to. And I'm telling you, and this may be an unpopular take, but if you are complaining about your job and you're complaining that you don't make enough money, I can guarantee you part of the reason is that you don't have the skills to extract yourself from those kind of situations, so you don't have the skills to earn more money. Sometimes earning more money is about earning yourself into a new bracket of trust, a new bracket of respect, a new bracket of skills. And if you ain't got it yet, you don't deserve the money yet. So you can complain all day, but until you go back to square one and teach yourself, learn how to communicate, learn how to listen, build clarity, create clarity. You should be able to sit back and think to yourself in your interactions throughout life, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's in your friendships, relationships, whether it's with your boss at your job, whatever it is, whether people at church that sit next to you. And you should be able to say, I create clarity in my conversations, in my interactions. When I have a thought or doubt that maybe we're not all on the same page, I don't just walk away and go complain to somebody else about it. I don't just walk away and expect the worst and wait for it all to fall down. I contribute positively to getting us all on the same page. These are all part of the definition of transparency. And that is the reason why, like I said in the first part of this podcast, I am the curator of Open Book Media. Open Book Media is about transparency. Everything that I do is going to be geared towards trying to build and foster more open transparency in our culture and in our society. And if you like that, I think you're going to like what I have to deliver. I think you're going to like some of the products. I think you're going to like some of the content. I think you're going to dig it. You're rocking with us. If that's the case, man, go ahead and click subscribe, follow us, do all those things. Do the things. Do the podcast things. If you like that. Yeah. Transparency. A big gap between transparency and honesty. Transparency is what we should be shooting for, y'all. Give it a try. Give it a few days and let me know what y'all feel about it. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you feel challenged, if you feel uncomfortable by what I'm saying. I hope so, because anytime you feel uncomfortable, that means growth is coming. One way or the other, growth is coming. So yeah, hit me up. Let me know what you think. Can't wait to talk to y'all. Love y'all. Peace. Ready to revolutionize your content creation? Discover Deep Brain AI, the cutting-edge solution in AI video synthesis. Create lifelike AI videos with ease, ideal for presentations, educational content, or just boosting your digital marketing. Your AI avatar awaits to deliver messages with natural expressions and natural voices. It'll be just like hearing and seeing you and me. Experience the future of communication with Deep Brain AI. Discover more right now at what'sgood.work and click on our link that says visit our sponsor.